Hey guys, I'm going to show you how to install a quick shifter and a gear linkage support bracket. So what this support bracket is supposed to do is hold that little rod in place tighter so it doesn't flex when you're shifting gears, so the shifts feel a bit more crisper, a bit more direct. So yeah, it's quite an easy install. All you need to do is remove these two bolts, two Allen head bolts from the front of the tank, take them out, and prop it up with a piece of wood. Something sturdy, something not too hard. You don't want to damage the tank, but you need it to hold the tank up. So a piece of wood works perfectly. And then yeah, just grab your quick shifter. So the Daytona bikes, the second gen bikes, 2009 to 2012, they all have the quick shifter map built in from factory. So all you need to do to add a quick shifter to your bike is just buy a quick shifter. So here I am using an OEM Triumph one because I got a good deal on one, but you can use an aftermarket one. It just needs it needs to be a pull type shifter with the correct plug. There's a someone on eBay selling aftermarket ones. I'm sure they work the same. It's a simple mechanism. So that's the plug at the top of the airbox. Just need to slide it off this little sliding pin, and it will have a little blanking plug. So push the clip in and pull the blanking plug out, and then just plug in the quick shifter, and that's pretty much it for the electrical side of the install. Just plug it into that connector there. That connector bit, if I should be able to see it, it's at the back of the airbox at the tank. It's a connector by itself, and this is how you remove the shift rod. So take there's two little clips that hold the shift rod in place. So take those clips out, and then just need to pull the shift rod off the ball joint. I wasn't able to do it by hand. It's on there fairly tight, so I used the pry tool, and the pry tool it comes off quite easy. So here, just grab a little pry tool. It's like a little pry tool I got from my trim removal kit. So yeah, push that off, comes off fairly easy, and then okay. So now, whilst you got your shift rod and your quick shifter, if you like the position your gear lever was in before you took it off, make them like the same length. But if you want to change the gear lever position, so say you have big boots, you want that shifter higher, you make the rod longer. Or if you have slimmer riding boots, then you want to make that shift rod smaller so that the gear lever's lower down, you can reach it easier. You're not like twisting your ankle trying to shift gears every time. So that's how you adjust the gear lever. Now I'm going to install the that support bracket. So to do that, you need to remove that front sprocket cover. Oh, here's a close-up of how the retaining pin goes into the shift rod and quick shifter. So it pushes in through the bottom and then rotates around and clips on. Here's a better view of how that works. Push it in through the bottom, clip it around. Give everything good clean, all the ball joints clean up well, so we can put some new grease. I've got some red rubber grease. It should work quite well. Now to take that front sprocket cover off, you have 3 bolts and 8mm bolt that holds this ball joint bracket on. So take this 8mm bolt all the way out, and then that ball joint bracket just comes off. And then there's a 3 8mm bolts holding the sprocket cover on. So one at the top, two at the bottom. I've already taken the two bottom ones off. You can see how much dirt gets built up behind here. All that grease, all the grease from the chain and the dirt from the road. So give everything a good clean while you can, while everything's out. And then that's how the that support bracket goes on. So what it attaches to is there's two bolts that hold a sensor next to the shift rod. I think that's the gear selector, the gear indicator sensor possibly. So take those two bolts out. You don't need to take the sensor out like I did there. I don't know why I did, I was just checking what it was. But if you do, there's a little dowel that you need to line up, push back into the engine, and then just rotate it so that lines up, pushes on, rotate the holes back on. And the bracket designed to go over that sensor. So now, if we put everything together, grease everything up. I got some red rubber grease, so I'm gonna put red rubber grease on that rod. I'm gonna put some on the bracket on the inside of the bracket where that rod will rotate round. Just make sure everything moves smoothly. You don't want any friction in the gear shift mechanism. It'll just make gear changes feel not as nice, not as crisp. So yeah, get everything greased up well. Get that bracket greased up well. It looks nice. They come in like anodized colors, so I got the red one to match the rest of the bike. But I'm gonna change fairings, but the new fairings will have red on it as well, so it should look quite nice as well. So there's a little gasket that goes around the outside of that bracket. That's to stop dirt getting in to the grease and everything. So make sure that's pushed on properly. It comes out quite easy, so make sure you push it on fully. Line up the two holes and then screw the screws back in, bolts back in. The bottom bolt screws in quite nicely. The top bolt ideally needs to be replaced with an Allen head style bolt, because once you start screwing it and tightening that top bolt in, it goes into the whole bolt goes into the hole, and then once it's tightened, there's not much of that bolt exposed. So if I ever needed to take that bracket out or the sensor out, it's going to give me trouble now, I reckon. But there's enough exposed, I reckon, to get it back out again. They're not in there too tight, so it should be fine. But ideally, it needs to be replaced with a different type of bolt. Now, grease the quick shifter, grease the ball joint sockets. Like I said earlier, you want all of this to move freely, grease up nicely. The less friction here, the better. Give the ball joint socket some grease. And before you plug the quick shifter in, you need to put the front sprocket cover on. So I've given everything a good clean. Now that can go back on. So there's a hole, a gap in that cover for the hoses and wires to go in. So just here's me like guiding all those pipes and hoses into that gap. And then once you've done that, everything will fit nicely. Screw the 3 screws back in. So one at the top, two at the bottom. Screw them in snug. Don't over tighten them. They're only 8mm bolts, so yeah, just screw them until they're tight and snug. That's that. So when you're putting this back in, the ball joint bracket back in, line up with the mark you made earlier, and then just tighten that back on. the 8mm bolt. Here you won't see me tighten it because I did it at the end and I didn't film it, so just make sure you tighten that on tight. And now for the quick shifter, to put the quick shifter in, there's a hole in the frame that the rod goes through. So make sure you push it through that hole in the frame. Make sure the wires aren't getting snagged anywhere or aren't routed anywhere they're not supposed to be or don't look right. So it was quite hard to push in my hand, so I grabbed the hammer, tapped it on. With a hammer, it tapped on quite nicely, and then once you tapped it on, put the retaining clip on. So this top one, the front one, was easy to do. You just push it through the hole and rotate and clip it on. This back one, the retaining clip was a bit awkward to get to because not much space. I've got some long nose pliers which made it easy. So grab the spring of the pliers, push it into the hole, and just rotate and clip it back on. And that's pretty much it for the quick shifter install. Now we just need to tidy up the wire, secure it so it's not gonna touch anything or get caught anywhere or rest on anything hot. Pull it so you've got it so it's nice and secure. Grab a cable tie it around the wires that are down there on the top of the airbox. So here just double check the wires and then cable tie it on, and that's basically it. That's the install of a quick shifter on a Daytona 675.